Welcome to the Infinias online video tutorial on installing and configuring the Relay 16 device. This device can be used for elevator controls, HVAC, lighting control, and much more. Let's begin. To remove the lid, unscrew the 2 silver screws on the top of the chassis and the 4 black screws on the side of the chassis. Once the screws are removed, slide the lid forward until the lid is no longer under the lip of the chassis. Now, remove the lid. The Relay 16 mainboard will show Bank 1 and Bank 2. Bank 1 manages outputs 1 through 8, and Bank 2 manages outputs 9 through 16. The outputs for each bank are labeled 1 through 8. And can be wired normally open or normally closed. In this example, we will only wire output 1 as normally open. However, we're going to wire outputs 1 through 5 for the entire configuration. From here, you can rack mount the 16 relay device. Remember that the device is DHCP enabled and will grab a DHCP address if you have a DHCP server. Okay, let's walk through the installer for the Relay 16 plugin that was provided to you by Infinias. Simply double-click on the executable to launch the wizard. From here, click the Next button to progress to the license agreement. After reading the license agreement, accept the terms and then click the Next button. Now we need to select the destination folder. We can either click Next to install to the default destination folder, or click Change to choose an alternative location. Okay, now let's select the default option here, which is Use Windows Authentication. And what I did is I copied my path for my Intellium Access database from SQL Management Studio. Once you've copied it, you can paste it into this location and then select Next. And now we can begin the install. When the install is complete, go ahead and select the Finish button. Now that the installer has been finished, Intellium will automatically find your 16 relay device. We'll need to create a peripheral for it though, and we'll also create rules to fire off the outputs. Okay, now we're in Intellium Access, so we're going to go to the Peripheral tab in the Configuration section of Intellium Access and click the Create Peripheral action. From here, we'll select the auto-discovered 16 relay out, which has your IP address right next to it. Once you've selected the auto-discovered 16 relay out, you can change the names of the outputs and designate if they are normally open or normally closed. When finished, scroll down within the Properties window and click the Save Relay Module button. This will give you a progress bar, and when it's finished, it's going to prompt you to press the Create button. If you would like to change the name of the peripheral, do that before hitting the Create button. Okay, next we're going to create the rules that energize the relay module, causing our elevator lights to show up for which floors we have access to upon a card swipe. We will create 2 separate rules that will allow 2 separate groups access to different floors. Once you've selected your rule, the schedule is going to be always. The I/O controller will be the peripheral that you previously created. The Outputs tab will allow us to select which outputs will be energized when a certain event happens in Intellium Access. In our case, which floors the group of cardholders will have access to when they swipe their card on the elevator door and get a valid credential. A side note here, make sure you select the outputs in the order you want them to fire off. So in this instance, the Indy employees will have access to all floors, but we're going to create a second rule for the employees, just the general employees group, to have access only to floors 1 and 4. Now that we created the rules, we can swipe a card holder from the group of Indy employees, and we'll see that we have access to the lobby and floors 1 through 4. And if we swipe a card from within the general employees group, we'll see that that group only has access to floors 1 and 4. I hope you found this video tutorial to be helpful. Thanks for watching and have a great day.